So today we shall look at adapting pedagogy for AI integration. This is part A of the lesson. We are going to continue this lesson next week. That's part B. So this is era of AI. We mentioned the last time that education needs to be reframed. That is, we need to change the way we think about education. We need to change the way we talk about education. We need to adapt or modify our curriculum to suit the era of AI, because some jobs will be completely replaced, while some jobs will be modified, and some jobs will boom. So it is our responsibility to look at the skills that are necessary for those jobs that will boom, and we start teaching those skills as teachers. We start teaching them to the upcoming generation so that they will be well prepared for the era of AI. So one of the things that we need to also look at has to do with the rational explanation to observed phenomenon in the classroom, which is the definition of a learning theory. A learning theory is simply defined as rational explanation to observed phenomenon in the classroom. So we have theories from ages up to our time. Now AI has come, so we need to adapt these theories to suit the context of AI. And this morning, we shall consider three important learning theories that need to be changed in the era of AI. And how can we change these things, or how can we use AI to modify these things so that it will be well suited for this era? So we shall look at three different theories. We shall look at the first one, which we call behaviorism. Behaviorism is a learning theory. I want to believe some of you have taken a course or two in your previous level, maybe a 200 level or 300 level thereabout. Maybe the course from psychology or from a curriculum or something like that. So where you were introduced to learning theories. I want to believe you still remember some of these things. So we shall look at three important theories in this lesson: the behaviorism, the constructivism, and the sociocultural theory. So these three aspects of this of learning theories, we shall consider them in the context of AI. All right. So what is behaviorism? Maybe a quick revision. What is behaviorism? So behaviorism is simply, okay, maybe we should say that what is a theory? What is the learning theory? So the origin, the historical foundation is the fact that people observe that some students, they will come to class and they will do well, whether the teacher teaches well or not. While some students will come to class, they will not do well, even though they have the best teacher to teach them and they have the best resources to teach them. So what could be the difference? Some people will sit down in front of a computer and learn on their own. Some people will solve part questions on their own and they will pass WAEC regardless of what the teacher is teaching in school. While some students, you need to sit down with them, take time with them before they can understand the simplest arithmetic or the simplest basic science. So what could be the explanation? Why? People start asking the questions. Why should that be? What could be the reason? Then people are putting forth explanation. Okay, they are putting forth explanations to explain or to give answers to why one student is performing than the other. So that rational explanation to observe phenomena in the classroom is what we call learning theory. So we have some scholars who now believe that learning is all about change in behavior, that your behavior must change before we can conclude that you learn. And then that particular scholar, they call their own rational explanation with a fancy name, and they call it behaviorism. So according to behaviorism, learning is a change in behavior. And this is the fundamental theory in psychology. This is the first theory that we get to know, or it get accepted as far back as more than a century ago. So behaviorism states that learning is change in behavior. And if your behavior has not changed, that means you have not learned. And in fact, we can put an adjective before that behavior and we call it observable behavior. So that behavior must be observable. before we can conclude that you learn. So you come to Ahmadu Bello University to have a degree in education as a pre-service teacher, and then we expect that before you enter Ahmadu Bello University and at the time you are graduating at Ahmadu Bello University, your behavior must change in line with the degree you come to have. So, and that is why you see some people, they came in 300 level, and then before they get to 400 level, they became a completely different person. Maybe he was a local champion in the secondary school, and it got to ABU the first year, it was not like, 1 point something GPA. If you sit up and say, hi, ABU is not like what I thought, and then put aside what he thinks that he know, and then start to learn afresh and relearn. And by the time he's graduating, he's not graduating as a changed person. Then we say the person has learned according to behaviorism. Okay, so behaviorism is all about saying that learning is a response to environmental stimuli that posits behaviors can be shaped, all right, through reinforcement and feedback, or you can say reinforcement and punishment. So what we are just answering in this particular sentence is learning is changing behavior, but how do people learn? They learn by reinforcement and giving what? Feedback. So you need to reinforce. And this is common in our classroom, especially at lower level. When a student gets a question correctly, they will shout, clap for him. Bah, 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 bah. So that is reinforcement. All right, it's a kind of encouragement. And then when a student fail a question in the class, they can say sure or something like that. Though we say that is not the best. However, that is the practice. Another thing a teacher does is when it gives you homework, then you look at your homework and give you feedback, right? And when you sit for a course and then you demonstrate your change in behavior, the lecturer will give you A. Okay, which that A you get in this course will make you to be attentive in the next course. And if you didn't do well, that is, you were not able to show that observed behavior in the test or exam, then you get F. And that is a punishment. All right, so behaviorism is all about observable behavior. This is not a class to explore theories in detail. Otherwise, we would have spoken about the criticisms of behaviorism, limitations of behaviorism, and why we need other theories. All right. So, but for now, we just want to consider the fundamental of behaviorism, which is about change in behavior, and then we learn through reinforcement and feedback. So, this primary objective of behaviorism, which is reinforcement and feedback, AI can actually help us to hammer on that and make it more efficient than what we did before. So AI can provide real-time personalized feedback and reinforcement, which will enhance the efficiency of learning and pave way for behaviorist approaches. So, and these are some of the ways through which we can use AI to help us to achieve our goals, okay, as a behaviorist in a classroom. One, under immediate feedback. AI-powered platforms can provide real-time personalized student feedback, feedback reinforcing the positive behaviors and correcting misconceptions. We have some AI tools that you can chat with, which will help you to do this. We also have the concept of adaptive learning, where AI-driven learning system can tailor content and practice activities to individual learners' needs, okay, which will reinforce their desires, behavior, and skills. But once you see that you are being reinforced, you are being encouraged, you think, yeah, this is acceptable, and then you move on. Then we also have gamification. AI technologies can incorporate gamification elements, such as rewards and badges to motivate and reinforce student learning and engagement. When you talk about games here, some of you play around with games, and you will see that when you are playing some games and you're able to reach a place, then you say maybe you earn some coins. That is reinforced. That's the kind of reward. So that you continue to play, or you see that you get some life, then more of your strength, it becomes bigger. So this kind of thing is reinforcement in gaming. Then that will motivate you. Or you complete a level now, and then there will be some kind of congratulations balloon flying around on the screen. So then that will motivate you to do more. Okay, now I can finish level 1, I can go to level 2, I can go to level 3. So with AI gaming like Kahoot, for instance, which has incorporated AI now, so can help you to enhance, to reinforce student learning okay, using what? AI, which is from behaviorism. We also have progress monitoring. AI tools can track student progress and performance, which will allow teachers to provide targeted reinforcement and feedback. Then mastery learning. So AI system can support mastery learning approaches. When we talk about mastery learning, is that the learning content will be divided into modules. Then before you move to the next module, you must pass the first module. And then as soon as you master the first module, then the second module will now open to you, and then you continue. AI can facilitate that kind of a thing, which is from reinforcement too, coming from behaviorism. The AI can also generate some data analytics, which will show the patterns and the trends in which a student is performing, so that you will be able to put the right reinforcement in place or the right feedback in place for the student. So this is just a kind of introduction on how we can use AI if you are a behaviorist teacher, which I will never advise any of you to be a behaviorist teacher, but this used to be the norm. And even up to now, if you go to our classrooms, most of the classroom settings, they still operate under behaviorism. And in fact, you went to teaching practice last year, on the teaching practice logbook, you will still see there behavioral objectives. Behavioral objectives is coming from behaviorisms. So because they believe that your behavior should change, and so the objective that will be tied to that kind of behavior, then it termed that behavioral objective. So that means behaviorism is still very pronounced in our society, even though a lot of theories have come to knock out the basic fundamentals of behaviorism, which we can quickly talk about. Like, for instance, behavior change in behavior or wherever, it has to do with people that don't have conscience. For we humans, we are very conscious. You can know something and you pretend as if you don't know that thing. That is, you refuse to show your behavior, you refuse to demonstrate your behavior. That doesn't mean you have not learned anything. But to behaviorism, you have not learned anything because you didn't show your behavior. So you must show your behavior, and that one is only applicable to animals. And that was why, from the historical perspective, the people who founded behaviorism, they started their experiment using animals, dogs. So, but when it comes to human, and at times even humans, you can cheat around something. What you don't know, you can protect as if you know it. You can cheat around it. You can just peep your friend in the test or exam and you copy the right answer. Even though you don't know, and then you get the marks, then behaviorism will say, yes, you have learned, even though you didn't learn anything. So because of that, people brought out, some scholars, they brought out another rational explanation to observe phenomenon in the classroom. So we'll talk about some of them as we proceed. So now we are most concerned about some prompts that we can use in the classroom as teachers to help us, if at all we are picking some ideas from behaviorism. And these are some of the prompts which we are going to demonstrate now. So for some of you on your phone that you can minimize the Zoom, then you can also open your ChatGPT on one side and be doing the same thing. Though there will be an activity where all of you will practice this morning, okay? So let us talk about reinforcement learning. I will be the one that will do this to show you how to fix things. So when you talk about reinforcement learning, all right, which is, you reinforce the learning from simplest to complex, and you can increase the complexity as time goes on. Here is a sample prompt. Look at that prompt. Create a series of long division multiple choice problems, each with difficulty scores out of 5, numbered 1 to 30. The worksheet should indicate that they should do the question in each difficulty tier until they get 2 right and then move on to the next tier. You see this? This is kind of reinforcement. So you have level 1, level 2 tasks, and then you're asking the students to solve some of these tasks. And before they can move from level 1 to level 2 of difficulty, they need to get at least 2 correctly from level 1. So that we reinforce that, and you start from simplest to complex. So by the time they're able to solve the simplest one, they feel like, yes, I know something. Then they move on to the next level. And then they shake a little bit. They move on to the 3rd level. They shake a little bit, maybe up to the 4th or the 5th. Then you can be able to differentiate who is good and who is not good at the end of the day. And those that are not good, they can know where their weaknesses is and work on the aspect at which they are not good. So as a teacher, you want to adopt this in your classroom. So we can ask ChatGPT to provide a kind of worksheet like that for us. And that's what we are going to try to do now. So what I'm doing now is to copy the prompt, all right? Then I will take it to the platform of ChatGPT and then see how. So the prompt I copied there, then I'm now pasting it here.
Okay.
You know, the prompt says, create a series of long division multiple choice problems, each with difficulty scores out of 5, numbered 1 to 13. The worksheet should indicate that they should do the question in each difficulty tier until they get 2 right and then move on to the next tier. So I just copy from there. This is the prompt. And then I click on OK. Then you see ChatGPT creating that thing for me. So I hope you can see what is going on.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So it is creating the long division problems according to the instruction I gave. And the instruction I gave is what we call the prompt, in which I said in previous classes that the prompt that you give will be what will determine the quality of the output that you get. And we gave 10 different frameworks for writing prompts. One of them is what we have used now. Okay? So now it is still generating long division multiple choice question. And I think that is all. But maybe I want this to be in the chat instead. Then you can see the kind of worksheet, which I can copy from here and use directly in my class.
Yes.
You see? 2-star difficulty. The lesson notes for today's lesson is already in your Google Drive. So you can download it as we are moving so that you can also do the same thing like this on your phone or on your laptop, as the case may be, just to practice it. And after the class, you need to sit down and run all the prompts by yourself. Now look at it. Let us now evaluate what has come up. So you have long division practice worksheet. Kindly unmute yourself now, everybody, or our moderator should do the job. All right, so we have long division practice worksheet. Now you can see 1 star. This is the easy part. You know, I said it should be done.
Can you keep that, please?
So the moderator that's supposed to do the. All right, so. All right, so now you can see the 4 star. These are some simple problems, right? Solve these basic long division problems. 84 divided by 4. Then you have options. All right, so this is 4 star. You now look at the 2nd star. Then you can see a bit more difficult. Now we now have 3 digits. 528 divided by 12. So this is more difficult than the previous one. And it's called is moderate, 2 star. Intermediate, you can now see we have 4 digits. Can you see this? So which is 2,520 divided by 20. It is more difficult than the last 3. Then look at this one. Advanced. Now we have how many digits here? 5 digits. Then we have the 5 star, which is using 5 digits, but now using the divisor of 3 digits. So this is a kind of thing, a reinforcement. You know, if a student can finish the 1st star, very good. Then the 2nd star, maybe the student gets stuck, then you know where the problem is. As a teacher, you can now step in and reteach that content, ask the student to proceed, and then to continue and continue and continue. So this is first way to look at to use AI to help us in reinforcement learning according to the behaviorism. Okay, so that is the first one where you can use AI for reinforcing what you have taught in class as a teacher. Another aspect is drill and practice. You know what is drill? You want to make some kind of lot of practice, a lot of simple questions. Look at this prompt. It can help you. Generate a list of 50 vocabularies and their respective definitions for an English as a second language class. Then create a drill and practice with a series of sentences where students have to fill in the blanks with appropriate word. This is drill and practice. You list all the words, then after you create some tags with respect to the words. All right, so let's see. Let us see how this one we go to. Let's see how it looks like before we proceed. Let us run this prompt now and see what it's going to generate. And you as teachers, you can always adapt this to your own lesson. You can modify it and let it suit what you teach. All right, so I'm going back to the ChatGPT platform. And here we have it. Okay, now I want to generate this prompt. I want to use this prompt to generate text. I just copy from there and I paste it here. As easy as that. They generate a list of 50 vocabulary words and so on. Then you just click on OK. And what happens? Sit back. Let this guy do this work for you. So you are increasing your productivity. You are not actually being lazy. So you are increasing your the time you will use to think all these words and their definition, you will use that time now to do something else. So we have our 50 words and their short meanings. Then the next thing is to create the tags, the drill. So can you see? Then we have it here. So as a teacher, I will just copy this out and then modify some things and use it in my class. Let us look at the words critically. We have abundance. The meaning is existing in large quantities, more than enough. We have accurate, achieve, adapt, and so on. Then from number 30, we have encourage, to give support or confidence. Then from number 40, we have include, to have something as part of a group. Then number 50, we have understand, to know the meaning of something. Let's now look at the drill and practice. The instruction is choose the correct vocabulary word from the list to complete each sentence. If you are familiar with some textbooks they use in primary school, like verbal reasoning, some of these kind of tasks, they are what they put there. So that means it is now easier to write a verbal reasoning textbook than before. Just get the prompt and then the ChatGPT will write the whole book for you in just few hours. So what they do in verbal reasoning at primary school level are some of these things where you are given some words, then you are look to fill in the gap or find the relationship or something like that. So you can see, choose the correct vocabulary word from the list to complete each sentence. We have number 1, it is dash to wear a seatbelt. Why what? Why driving for safety? So it is what? Encourage. I think there is one encourage there or something. I think we read something like encourage out. Unfortunately, this is not arranged in alphabetical order. We would have asked you to do so.
It's number 30, sir.
Number 30?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Encourage is number 30. All right. So to give, so it is encourage to wear seatbelt. And that's how you will be, the student will be solving the problems and they'll be happy with what you give them. Perfect. And you can write this prompt and then give the student as assignment. ChatGPT, if you run your own now, the words and the drill will be different from another person's own. Assessment to each student. Just ask them to run the prompt, whatever thing that comes out there to solve it, and they'll bring the solution to you. Even though they can actually ask ChatGPT to solve this problem. Like this drill now, you can easily get the answer by saying, now, okay, this is not part of the note, but we are just putting it. Now, provide correct what? Answers to each drill question. So as soon as you ask this, then you just click on OK. Then what will happen? ChatGPT will provide you the answers. Oh no, we chose it is encouraged, but it said it is necessary. Can you see it now? So that means we fail it. And then you can ask ChatGPT to even explain the answers. But that's not what we are here for this morning. So this is what we can do. So many things we can do. This is one of them. All right. Let's go back again to how we can incorporate ChatGPT into our lesson as what? As teachers of behaviorism perspective. You can do what they call spaced repetition. So this is a simple prompt. Design a schedule for reviewing Hausa vocabulary words using the principles of spaced repetition to do what? To enhance memory retention. The next one about mastery learning. Draft a sequence of lessons on quadratic equations where students must demonstrate mastery of each subtopic before moving to the next. Number 5 is about shaping the learning. And we have a prompt here. Develop a series of lessons that gradually teach students how to write a persuasive essay, starting with the basics of argument structure and gradually introducing more complex elements. Now, I like the last one, and we are going to run it. Stimulus response learning. Create or generate a series of if and then scenarios to teach students about cause and effect in ecosystem. This is related to science. Let us run this prompt and see what is going to happen. Stimulus response learning. So I can stop this, then I can reshare again where we have the ChatGPT come up here. Now, we have it here. Then we can run that prompt. We have to pay attention to this because this is related to our field very much, yes? Generate a series of if and then scenarios to teach students about cause and effect in ecosystems. Let's now run it. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah, we have 25 questions here. Now let us evaluate what is going on here. If and then scenarios for teaching cause and effect in ecosystem. Look, if a forest is cut down, then animals that live there will lose their habitat. If a new predator is introduced to an ecosystem, then the population of prey may decrease. If there is a drought, then plant and animals may struggle to find water and could die. If bees disappear from an ecosystem, what will happen? Then many plants will not be pollinated and may not produce fruit. So this is a kind of scenario, if and cause scenario, that in the process of doing that, you now know. So the function of the bees is just what? To aid pollination. Can you see? The function of the bees is to aid what? Pollination. Look at the question 9. If pesticides are used on crops, then insects and other small animals may be harmed, disrupting the food chain. Can you see that? So this is talking about negative effect of pesticide. Even though we use that, it has negative effect. It affects the ecosystem negatively. So let us look at number 15. If humans plant more trees, operation plant trees, go. If humans plant more trees, then air quality can improve and animal habitat can be what? Can be restored. So this is talking about the benefit of planting trees, and that trees are linked to what? Purity of our air. And of course, that is true because it will absorb CO2, right? And that is when we breathe out, that is polluting the air. So plants will absorb that. Trees will absorb that and release oxygen that we need to purify our air. Look at number 25. If the number of decomposers like fungi decreases, then dead organic matter will accumulate, slowing nutrient recycling. This is true. So from here, students will know, okay, so these fungi, they actually what? Decomposers, or these decomposers, they actually functioning well. If they don't decompose the cankers, the whole of the place will be polluted and everything will be what? Disrupted. Just imagine a place where dead bodies don't decompose. Just imagine that kind of scenario, how everywhere will look like. Okay? Yeah. All right. Very good. So we can go back to the next, which is about the use of AI as a constructivist. The use of AI as what? A constructivist. So again, like I mentioned earlier on, learning theory is all about rational explanation to observe phenomena in the classroom. Then we have scholars who come up with different rational explanations to this observed phenomenon in the classroom. One student is a slow writer, the other one is a fast one. One student is very intelligent, the other one is not. What could be the reason? Behaviorism came and they said learning is all about what? Change in behavior. okay, which we only gain. We only gain knowledge by reinforcement and what? And feedback. Then we say, we as human beings, we have consciousness. We may not be able, at times, we may know something and then pretend as if we don't know. To behaviorism, we have not learned, but we have actually learned. Because we know it, but we refuse to say the answer. Some people are just like that. And at times, we fake what we know. Something we don't know, we pretend as if we know. And in the exam, we can peep here and there, or we can slot in some kind of external materials and pass the exam, even though we don't read anything for that course. You see it now. So that is what? That is making it a flaw on the behaviorism. Then some other scholars came up, and again, behaviorism does not consider what is happening in your brain. They only talk about the behavior that you show. So they don't care. So some people concentrated on the brain. They call themselves cognitivism. Unfortunately, it's not part of the content. But again, we have another set of scholars who come up with another explanation, and they call themselves constructivism. They say learning is all about what? Constructing knowledge, active construction of knowledge and understanding, which you do that through experience and reflection. You gain experience and you reflect on what you have gained. Then that is how you learn, according to constructivism. Learning is not about changing behavior, rather it is about what? Individual construction of knowledge. We construct our knowledge based on the experience and what? And reflection. We experience by interacting with our colleagues in the classroom, and then we reflect on that interaction to construct our own knowledge. So this is what constructivism is all about. Even though we have individual constructivism, then we have social constructivism. But the core hypothesis is that we individually construct our knowledge and understanding through experience and reflection. Perfect. So what comes first? Experience comes first or reflection comes first? Or which one is more important? Reflection is more important or experience is more important? That is where they are divided into two. Some people say experience is more important and they call themselves social constructivism. Why some people say reflection is more important and they call themselves radical constructivism. This is not a theory class, it's just to give you a brief of what is going on in there. So, in the context of AI, how can we do this thing? How can we facilitate what? Reflection. How can we facilitate the gain of experience? Okay? So, the knowledge construction process will be reshaped definitely because AI can act as catalyst for active learning, scaffolding students, personalizing learning trajectories, and they can also foster deep understanding. So these are some of the things we can now do in era of AI in order to do what? In order to facilitate reflection at the same time as what? The gain of what? Experience. Let's see. The first one is about facilitating inquiry. AI tools can provide students access to vast resources and information, which can enable them to explore and investigate topics independently. For example, students can use Perplexity or ChatGPT, Bard, or Bing. So I was talking about how you can use AI in the context of behavior of a constructivism classroom. So I said, for those of you that you will be using ChatGPT, you can try Perplexity sometimes, you can try Bard and so on. So what again can we do with AI in the context of constructivism? We talk about personalized learning, where AI-driven platforms can adapt to individuals' learner needs and interest. This can help you as a teacher or a pre-service teacher or a student, as you like to call yourself. You can use AI as your personalized learning assistant. And we have some tools that can help you. Look at Socrates AI. Maybe you've tried this before. We also have Quizlet. You see, as soon as you finish this lesson, these names, just copy them and throw them in Google. It will link you to the website. You can explore the website. Some of these are free. And look at how you can use these things to your own advantage. I'm not just putting them here for playing sake. I put them here for the benefit that you can go back to the note and at your own leisure time, try some of these things out yourself. Problem solving. AI-powered, simulations and virtual environment can engage students in authentic problem-solving activities. which can promote and can enhance this knowledge construction we are talking about. For instance, look at this PhET interactive simulation. This one is a big website now, very big. A lot of experiment in physics, in chemistry, in biology, they have been well spread out using virtual reality. If you just go to the website, you are going to learn a lot, and you can incorporate that into your own teaching. We also have the lab style, we have the mineral crafts, the education edition. Some of these you have to pay actually. So we also have the Microsoft solver, or maybe I have to be a bit biased here because I'm from mathematics, so to say. Let us pick this one, Microsoft Math Solver, and let us see what this website entails. All right. So this one will allow us to go straight to, okay, okay, here. So let us see what is obtainable in Microsoft Math Solver. So I just put this and I put it ordinary Google. Then it brings me down here. Then you can come to Microsoft Math Solver. What's going on here? Then you have this. So this is a home where you can tutor and you can learn mathematics on your own, solve any problems of your choice. And these are divided into, you can see this is the solver here. Nice one. Then you can have pre-algebra, algebra, trigonometry, the topic that you want, calculus. There are some videos that will even help you how to sketch some things, even though I've not used this before, but I think they contain some, some interesting things. Yeah. I don't know. I've not used it before, but you can see how interesting this thing can look like. Try Math Solver. You can make a try. And I think it is free, or because it is from Microsoft. Almost everything from Microsoft is free or limited edition. Let me see what's here. Okay, I can minimize this here. Okay, I like calculus. Let us see if we can get something like dy dx or something. Derivatives. Let's see. What's that? Okay, then some examples. Oh, wow. You can see you can solve some problem. You can do some practice on your own. Maybe you have learned mathematics, some things on calculus, and you want to practice some questions. And I think, let's see what's there in practice. Okay. So these are some quizzes you can do there. Nice one. Inequalities, quadratic equation. Okay. It is generating a quiz for me. Now, this thing is free. It's open. And because I didn't register anything, I just come in. Maybe there will be limitations. I don't know. Are you ready for the quiz? Yes, maybe we are ready. Then select the answer to this problem. Oh, I don't know this again. This thing has gone from my memory. So just select one if it is correct or not. It will tell you, I don't know. In any case, this is just a brief example of what you can do with some of the things I put in the content. They are not just there for play. After this class, on your own, take the notes and try and Google some of these things. Look at Google Expenditure VR, and so on. Okay, so we can also use, in the context of constructivism, we can also use AI for scaffolding, and we can use it for knowledge visualization, and we can use it for even reflection and metacognition. So how you can use this? We have some prompts here that will now help you as teachers, that you are a constructivist. Like people say, I'm a constructivist, and which is a bit far popular than the behaviorism. Behaviorism, gained the ground. Just like Nokia phone. Nokia phone gained the ground, but when Android came, then they beat up Nokia. So the same thing when constructivism came, everybody was now moving to constructivism. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can use. Some prompts that you can just ready-made prompts. You can just copy them from here and start using them immediately. For discovering learning, you can use a kind of prompt here to generate a hypothetical archaeological site report, where you can ask students to interpret data and draw conclusions from the civilization that might have lived there. Oh, nice one. Let us pick this one. Some kind of historical, Let's see what is going to come out. What you want to talk about is about discovery learning. Something that we say, I'm using discovery method. Maybe by the time you are writing your project now, you'll be saying you are using one discovery method or the other. So this can help you to generate some tasks that you can use in your classroom, in the experimental group, to teach your student about some things on discovery method. Okay, so I think I've copied it from here. Then let's see what it's going to generate. Here I only pick 2 prompts. Then we move to the next one where you are going to do this prompt yourself. Let's see. So you should be ready for that. Okay, I think we are here. Perfect. So my ChatGPT is still on here. Good. Then I can just put the prompt. No additional work to be done. Then I click on OK. So what happens? It is generating that for me. As in, just like this. Like this. For you to do this on your own, you have to read books. Lot of books. This is archaeological site report coming out. Now we now have the task the students will do. Well, excellent. Okay, let us look at the report. By the time we finish this lesson, you can also do this yourself and then read through what is coming out. Hypothetical archaeological site report. The name is Zanora Valley excavation. The northern river basin, approximately 50 kilometers from the coast. Date was this year. And then the lead archaeologist, Dr. Miriam Okoye. Nice one. It was giving me a Nigerian name now, or something related to us. Then the site overview. This is the site overview. After the excavation, this is the report that the archaeologists brought back. The findings from the excavation, the structure, the artifact, the human remains, environmental evidence, then student interpretation questions, daily life. What does the presence of tools and irrigation channels suggest about the people of Zanora Valley, okay, sustain themselves? So these are some of the questions. They will read the report and then they will be picking on their brain. You know, discovery method. Discovery method, they'll be picking on their brain to come up with something nice on their own. So this is how you can go around these things and be happy with what you have. Perfect. So you can go through this on your own at your leisure time. You can do on your phone or wherever and then be able to fix this. All right. So we can go back to our note. Yeah. Okay. And then some other things you can do with prompts and as a teacher that you can just use ready-made in a constructive classroom. You have the problem solving, you have the inquiry based. These are some of the prompts you can try on your own. We have reflective learning where you can create an essay. All right. Then you have the concept mapping. I like this one. Maybe I should run this prompt. Present a complex topic such as human circulatory system and ask students to create a concept map showing how the different elements are interconnected. Provide a starting point for them with a partial map. Ooh, ChatGPT may not be able to do that map for us, but let's see what is going to happen. Because the problem ChatGPT can only generate text. Okay, at least the free version that we use now, or that I use. Maybe some of you are using the paid version, I don't know. So let's run this prompt. Okay, at least this is very much related to our field. And then, perfect. Have it here. Then we have this. Then we can run this. So let's see, concept mapping. And by the way, concept mapping is another teaching strategy. If you are doing experimental research, you can use concept mapping. And now AI has just come to generate tags. Wow, I can see something on a map. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, it's telling me that I cannot use 4.0 again. Nice one. No problem. Let's see the beginning. So this is okay, I think we are fine. The human circulatory system is responsible for transporting. You know, if you are lazy to read this, you can ask AI to read it for you. But we can read it, yes? So these components include the heart, the blood vessels, and the blood. All right, each wherever. Then let's see the concept mapping. The instruction, create a concept map showing how the different elements of the circulatory system are interconnected. Use arrows to indicate relationships. So you can see human circulatory system, the heart, the blood vessel. Heart is related to the pump, oxygen, and the oxygenation, nice one, and the oxygenation. Then we also have the primary and systematic. You guys from integrated science now, you can help us. Okay, primary and systematic. Then the blood vessels, we have the transport, we have the arteries, then you have the capillaries, and so on. This is a kind of small map, which you can copy, I guess, and then you can edit if you like. Then you'll be happy with that. So we have the key element of that, and then what the student will now do. Expand the concept map by adding more details branches, including the heart, blood component, and circulatory pathway, heart, and the body. Label the arrows with each phrases carries oxygen to connect to or pumps blood in. You can easily bring out this and then present it to your student, and you'll be able to facilitate what they call concept mapping teaching approach. Perfect. So we can go back to where we are coming from, and then we conclude that part of the lesson. Okay. So these are some of the things through which you can do. You can also do what they call cognitive flexibility, experiential learning. All these things can be done by getting some prompt and then generating tasks for your student. Now, we'll take the last part of this theory before we move to the next thing. I don't think we have the time, but you can stop here if there's no problem. So the sociocultural theory approach. You see, for sociocultural theory, what they are talking about, they lay more emphasis on culture, okay, on culture and the use of tools in the environment as what? As basis for learning. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that in science you have to come to the classroom with instructional materials? Why is instructional material so important? It is because you need to bring something from the cultural environment for the student to see, to aid the talk and shop that you do. Like this class now, I have to come up online because I cannot do this in class, and I want you to see this in real time. How on earth will I do this in our classroom? I hope we will get there one day. This is supposed to be done in class. I bring my laptop, my PowerPoint. You are seeing this in real time. You have your own computers in front of you. You are doing it in real time as I'm doing it. Okay? If we don't have the provision to record this video now, those that couldn't make it, we just mix this experience. All right? So when you incorporate social context as well as the culture, the cultural beliefs and attitude of people into learning, then you are working under the paradigm of the sociocultural theory. So sociocultural theory emphasizes that learning happens within social context and is profoundly influenced by cultural beliefs and attitudes, and in which none of us can deny this. None of us. Some of you, before you come to Ahmadu Bello University, you dress the way you dress. You know yourself. But by the time you enter the campus after a semester, your mode of dressing just changed. Nobody preached to you because you have to obey the culture of the land. You even feel ashamed of yourself if you dress anyhow on EBU campus. You feel ashamed. So because you look around, who is dressing like this? Nobody, just ordinary dress. So the culture has influenced you. And you also carry with you your own historical culture. Like some people are very reserved. They don't talk. Why some people, they are known. You know, we have a tribe in Nigeria that is known for talking and speaking loud with confidence. You know that tribe. So this is from historical, that will also be taken to how they learn, according to sociocultural theory. They don't talk about behavior again. Leave behaviorism alone. They don't talk about construction of knowledge again. But rather, they talk about what is happening in the social context. And I just give you a very simple example now. Just imagine you are in a university, you are in a system or in a classroom where it is digitalized. You have the PowerPoint, the internet is 24 stable, the what? 24/7 stable, then the light is always there. Your teacher can come to the class. I don't have to come online. I can come to class with my laptop and project it. The way you learn will be different from the way you learn without any computer. The context will change. You see people going to some private universities and coming up with first class. And when they come to Ahmadu Bello University, they finish with a third class. This is the truth. It's because that environment has influenced them. They have more conducive place to learn. We have second class lower in Nigeria and got abroad for masters and became distinction. And we have people moving from third class here and getting their doctorate in abroad because they now move to a very comfortable place that is light 24/7, that is internet 24/7, access to textbook. Food is not your problem. Where you are going to sleep is not. Tell me now, how will you not learn? How will you not perform well? Textbook, every internet, everything is there. So what is left for you? But here you have to, put a lot of things in context before you can learn. So what we are saying is sociocultural theory is bringing this social context, is bringing this culture, is bringing these beliefs when it comes to learning, in which constructivism don't do that, in which behaviorism don't do that, in which cognitivism don't do that, and so on. So how can you now use AI to your advantage in this context? So we have some ways through which you can do that. All right. Now, we now have some sample prompts that we can use to facilitate this inquiry. I think we have how many here? 9. So we are going to have an activity now. I will group you into 9 groups. You are going to have 9 groups. And each of these groups, what you are going to do is very simple. You are going to copy this prompt. You have time to do that. You will copy this prompt and then or I can visit your group to give you this prompt. But as soon as I come to your group and give you this prompt, you will copy the prompt and then put it in ChatGPT or Bing or anyone that you use. All right? Then let us see, copy out the output. You can copy out the output and keep it. So by the time we come to the general group, you are going to post your output in the chat. Then we are going to evaluate, we are going to see what you have done and how you have done it. Do you understand what I said? You can unmute yourself now and talk. I'm giving you instruction where we are going to go to a group now. You can unmute yourself. Do you understand? I want you to also try out this prompt by yourself. So I will divide you into groups and I will come to your group, provide to each group your prompt. So what will you do when I come to you, copy your prompt, put it in ChatGPT, generate the answer. You can talk about it in your group before we now call all of you back. So when I call all of you back, that's your answer. You now paste it in the chat. Then we are going to look at it together. Do you understand?
Okay, sir.
Excellent. What I would just ask you to do is to drop your assignment in the chat, indicate your group, then I will copy all from there. So possibly we can have a place to discuss that in our class next. So I don't know if Dr. Amato has 1 or 2 things to say before we close for today, and Dr. Sheffield too. Dr. Sefia. So as you are coming back from your group, drop your output from ChatGPT, drop it in the chat. Go to chat and drop it. Nobody has done so. Endeavor to indicate your group. I'm waiting for you guys. Drop your output into the chat. And Dr. Amato, do you have 1 or 2 things to say? Before we close, they have a class now, I guess. Yes, I'm seeing one from, which group is this? Indicate your group. You did, okay, in group 3. Perfect. I've seen that there. Yes. Yes, I've seen group 4. I'm calling on Dr. Amato. She's still around. Okay, Dr. Sefia, I don't know, do you have 1 or 2 things to say? You need to unmute yourself, ma.
Well done, doctor. Actually, nothing much. Just,
Yes, ma'am.
I actually laughed when you were trying to present the map on
Yes, sir.
concept mapping a while
Concept
ago.
mapping. Yeah.
Yes, actually, because that was not your area, so trying to explain the circulatory system.
Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
very educative.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Yes, ma'am.
welcome.